Hi, welcome to the Paranormal Times. Today we will be talking with Beth Fontaine of Eerie Excursions. So, welcome, Beth.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So Beth, tell me a little bit about Eerie Excursions.
Well, we are a paranormal event company. So I know people have seen paranormal event companies. We take people to spend the night in haunted places. And we also do a couple other fun events and tours throughout the year. Um, like to do things like ugly Christmas sweater parties and Friendsgiving. So we do a little bit of whimsical things with our stuff too.
Yeah, how long have you guys been around?
Well, my business partner, Kayla, and myself, we both did it separately for many years. I actually started, gosh, probably back in 2012, I believe, maybe a little before that. Did it kind of as a hobby for a long time. And then Kayla had been running a company called Dayton Haunted Explorers.
Okay.
And we'd been friends for a while. And then one day we were like, what are we doing? Why don't we just like merge and do this for real and do it as like, a full-time living. So that's kind of what we're trying to get up to. We just combined forces actually just in August of this past year. So
Okay. So pretty new. Yeah.
yeah.
So where are you located? I guess, are you in Erie or?
No, we're actually in Ohio. So we're kind of like the Cincinnati Dayton metro area.
Gotcha.
Um, but we go all over the place.
Awesome. So how did you in particular get started in the world of the paranormal? What
Oh
got
my
you
gosh.
into
Well, probably ever since I was a kid, I myself have always had experiences, and I always have a joke about it that I had so many things happen to me all the time, and I would tell people. And when I got to about high school, then I think I realized that not everybody could see people walk through their living room or hear things. And so I'm like, oh, I'm getting the side eye. Maybe this isn't something that everybody kind of has happen. I don't know.
it? Right.
So then once I realized that, it kind of set me on the journey. And gosh, that was like back in high school when I realized that there was more to this, and went to the Mansfield Reformatory for my very first public paranormal investigation.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, and kind of on that topic, what is the favorite place you think that you investigate, either as a
Oh
team
gosh,
or your company or just personally? What's your favorite place to go to?
this one. Oh my gosh. I can't pick just one, but I would say Post Town Elementary is a huge one for us.
Okay.
Both Kayla and myself, we've led tours there for many years. It's in Middletown, Ohio, and it's an old elementary school.
Hmm.
Amazing location. It's like home for us. Second favorite is probably Fairfield County Infirmary. My husband and I actually got married there,
Oh, that's awesome.
and they're great. Like their team of people, they're amazing. We love everybody involved with all of those locations.
Cool. That's great. Have you ever had any experiences there that really like stand out as being kind of super impactful or just really, I don't know, but just any experiences you've had
Yeah,
at those locations?
absolutely. Oh my gosh, absolutely. So Post Town, being a guide, I mean, I had experiences all the time being a guide there, and it's really interesting because it's like once you're at a location so many times, the spirits come to know who you are.
Mm.
And so it was funny because my husband always had a joke because being in elementary school, there's a principal's office. So every time teams would be in the principal's office, they would get his name on their devices, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's because they knew I was in the principal's office all the time growing up." But, yeah, I've had so many things happen. One of my most notable experiences, I was going through the school, clearing everything out, just getting ready for the next team coming in, and this was in the middle of the day. And so I'm walking through and I hear these two voices talking, and I thought for sure somebody had broken in. So I'm like, oh, I've got all 5 foot of me, I'm gonna go find these two people that broke in. And so I'm going through the school, and like I get to where I think the voices are coming from, nothing there. So I keep going, walking around. I'm like, oh, I'm going to catch these guys. I can hear them, but I can't make out what they're saying. Go follow them through. And as I get to the downstairs part, there's this room called the dry goods room. Worst place in the school. I hate it. I've been there for years. My least favorite place because it's terrifying. There's a man down there. I get down there and it was like I walked into a brick wall. And then it's like I realized how dark it got around me, and I looked around and I'm like, oh, those are not living people that I'm hearing. And I was like, nope, nope, nope. And I turned around.
Nope, I'm out. Peace
Downstairs.
out. Oh, wow. That's really cool. So tell me about with your team, what kind of places do you go to investigate? So I assume you go to the two that you've mentioned. Are there any others that you do events at regularly, or you have events coming up at those locations?
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, we have a lot of different events. So since this is our first year together, we're kind of trying to see what worked for both of us in the past. And so it's like we're kind of using those, but then also we're building relationships with new locations. Like we just did one at Beale Manor, amazing location, and we're going back there again. And then we try to find like kind of the best of both worlds, because people have like their bucket list locations, and like we just did Bobby Mackey's last night. So that's why I was like, are we
Oh,
filming today?
wow.
Look a little. So bucket list location for people, and like
Yeah.
Waverly Hills and all those big ones. But as far as like, we still have to have a profit margin. So those locations are a little more difficult. So now we're trying to really seek out places that are like hidden gems.
Yeah.
And like we want to take smaller groups, because that's another thing. It's like we don't want to take like tons of people. We still want them to have a genuine experience. So yeah, like we just found one I had never heard of, and it's an old showboat in Virginia or West Virginia. So that's one of our new ones. But I mean, we do anything, like hospitals, jails, a boat. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's haunted and has good stuff, we'll be there.
Are your events mostly like 18 and up adults, or do you welcome children or younger people that are interested in getting involved?
It depends on the location. So
Yeah.
yes, we definitely encourage children. We've had Post Town is a great location for that.
Mhm.
So we actually are doing a introduction to the paranormal, and we originally had planned on it for adults, and then a few people wrote us like, hey, can I bring my kid to this? And we're like, oh well, yeah, of course. So we do that, and then we're going to try to make that more of a regular thing, and then we do junior investigations too.
Awesome. Yeah, I know sometimes it's really hard to find events where children are welcome. There's some locations
Yes.
where really it's inappropriate, but yeah, that's
Right.
great that you do that.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah. So let's see. Tell me about the equipment and the resources you provide to your participants. Do you provide any sort of like EMF meters and stuff like that they might want to use, or do you ask them to bring their own, or is it kind of a mix of both? How does that work?
Kind of a mix of both. We always encourage people to bring their own stuff. And if it's something that's noisy, we kind of try to separate people so that, like spirit boxes, like things that have a sweep, things that talk, we try to have them like, please be respectful. And if somebody's next to you, then, be like, hey, do you want to come do this too? Or can we kind of separate them? But we have things, it's totally eluding me. My brain just went blank, but my business partner, Kayla, she's got one of the devices on the computer, and it's, oh my gosh, I just totally went blank on what it's called. It's something that's newer, and I had never personally used it, but it's like an Echo box or something like that. So we've got those types of things. We've got your traditional, like a REM pod. We've got a music box. We just got a Boo Buddy. We have a subscriber program. And so any subscriber dues we put towards new equipment for the investigations. So we've got all kinds of stuff like from the gamut, but we always tell people, it's like, a lot of times we get people who are new to this. And so we're like, you don't need all this fancy equipment. Like it's great to have it. And so we like to teach people like, hey, you can use the voice recorder on your phone. You can just have a flashlight, but listen to yourself. So it's kind of a mixture of all things. And we do rent out K2 meters right now for people. And we hope to build on that to where if people want to rent like, their own music boxes or REM pods or whatever in the future, but that's probably going to be about a year or so from now.
That's a really wonderful point about, you don't need all that fancy equipment to be able to do this. Like, people think you need to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on stuff.
Yeah,
You really don't. You just need your eyes and ears, all right?
exactly.
Maybe a camera, maybe your phone. That's helpful.
Cameras are definitely another. Yeah, I'm like, we tell them how to take pictures and like take them in threes, and if you're gonna take the flash, tell people so you don't blind them.
So kind of on that, in that vein, what would you say to someone who is looking to get involved in the paranormal field, either like starting their own event company or just starting to investigate or like to go to one of your events? What would you say to people that are just looking to get started?
Well, that's why we decided we were going to do this intro to the paranormal thing too, because we do have a lot of people who ask us, like, especially now, there's so many content creators out there that are doing paranormal investigating. I can't talk paranormal investigating. And so it's kind of like, you know, it's intimidating when you don't know when you're first starting, like to book a location is terrifying if you don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of one of those things. We've had so many people ask us over the years, like, well, how do you do all this? How do you get started? And one of the things is, I would always recommend, like, when you're starting out, to go with an event company or to do a public investigation. Like, public investigations are great, flashlight tours are great. And that kind of gets them in, even if they're by themselves, because then it's like you're meeting like-minded people.
Right.
So it's like you're not just walking in blind. And people in this field, it's like, there's both sides of the coin. But usually at those kind of events, people are so excited. And like, I know with our guests, they're so happy, like a new person. So, oh, this is how you use this thing. And, oh, well, if you hear that, it's probably just this thing. So they can debunk it, and they're just very helpful. And I think that that would probably be my advice. Just like go to something public first and then get to know people.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I will add to that, I think going to conventions and kind of
Yes.
gatherings of people where you can listen to speakers and kind of hear, I just get their expert advice and stuff is really helpful. So, yep, I'm just gonna throw that out there.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, do you have any? We kind of talked about some of the locations that you do. Do you have any upcoming events that you'd like to plug and talk about? You had said your intro to investigation event. Anything else?
So definitely that one. And then we have this one is a big deal. It's the so we're doing another event at Post Town. It's for the eclipse.
Oh yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah, that sounds great.
That one, okay, so I've never tested the theory. I mean, never even thought about it. But we've been hearing like how much an eclipse can affect the energy and really ramp up paranormal activity. And I was like, oh my gosh, why don't we just do something at Post Town, because we're in the field of the total eclipse.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, let's do this 2-night event. But the problem is that it's during the week. So I think we're not really getting the word out there the way that we would like to, because people are used to us booking on a weekend. And this one's actually a 2-night event. So we're going to spend the night on Sunday night at Post Town and investigate, the day before the eclipse. Then we're going to watch the eclipse. And then the next day we're going to investigate again to see if there's any fluctuations, like any changes.
That is so cool. And when is that? I know that's pretty soon, right?
Yes, next month. I think the eclipse is actually on the 8th. So it's the 7th and the 8th of April.
Okay, cool.
That's the biggest one. And then we're going to be at MadCon, FCICon, and ISS too.
Okay, awesome. All right. So, Beth, where can people go to learn more about Eerie Excursions and sign up for one of your events?
So Facebook seems like it's our most popular channel right now. We're getting followers pretty quickly on there. But then we also have our website, which is also just eerieexcursions.com.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, Beth, I so very much appreciate you being with me today, especially after a late night at Bobby Mackey's.
That's normal.
You're a trooper. Um, and I will be sure to share with everybody the link to your website and your social. And I hope
Thank you
you
so
have
much.
an awesome day.
You too. Thank you so much for reaching out to us. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to see what's happening for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, take care.